Step 12 in going from employee to entrepreneur is the visual brand identity component. So the logo design principles versus the color psychology, brand colors, your typology, and all of the things that include visual consistency. Letting people know who you are. You know, you think of a brand, a very high-end luxury brand like Rolex, very minimalistic, earth tones, a lot of white space, and not really a ton of clutter when they're showing up in anything. It could be a television ad, it could be their product packaging, very similar to a brand like Apple. Minimalistic, white and grayscale. You know an Apple product when you see it. You know a Rolex watch if you've been lucky enough to see one and have one on your wrist. But when you see those ads, you see those commercials, you interact with them on social media, you notice a consistency. You notice that they're associating luxury, they're associating minimalist, they're associating a brand feeling and an aesthetic that matches the level of what they're charging and the value that they bring. Quality products, old school legacy brand, really hardworking people, amazing source materials, whatever the case may be. Now, how do we take this and apply it to your brand? You're a coaching brand, you're a brand new consulting startup, you're a software brand. One of the best ways to do this is, again, look internally and understand the brands that you gravitate towards, especially if you're a creator, a young entrepreneur, and someone that's doing this for the first time. What brands inspire you? There's an amazing book called Steal Like an Artist, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to branding. All you have to do is create a mood board. Go into Google Docs, go into Canva, go into any one of these platforms, and start to just compile things that inspire you. It could be from anything. It could be from music, from art, from fashion, from clothing, from corporate America. It doesn't matter. Find the things that inspire you. Develop a color palette. Understand the more bold you go, the more, bright reds and greens and purples, you'll have more personality with your brand. So if you're going for that thing to be differentiated, you want the full 80s neon vibe, go for it. There's a space for that. If you're a pool maintenance company and you're the first one that shows up in full branded crazy attire, then that's awesome. That's your brand. That's a direct representation of your identity, the principles, the foundation, and the values that your company has. Leverage all of these as tools in the toolbox to tell your story and to ultimately sell your story. So more muted earth tone colors like greens and beiges and grays. Think of amazing designers like Ralph Lauren, uses very muted earth tones in all of their fashion. They really elevate their brand that way because you associate it with minimalist, with luxury, with, old money. So there's a lot of ways to take that psychology and apply it to your brand, whether you're a coach, a consultant, a SaaS brand, whatever the case may be. Purples and all these kind of more modern, bold colors just scream innovation. So if you're a tech company, you're an AI brand, blacks, whites, shades of purples, pops of pink, that's what we chose for Rhythm because it's innovative, it's creative, it's modern, it's bold, and that's kind of our personality. We like to gravitate towards things that are kind of modern and bold and fun and creative and a little bit of personality there. So it's not to say that using a lot of white space and smaller fonts and a lot of, not a lot of texture and doing a minimalist thing, that goes a long, long way. It doesn't matter if you're an agency, a SaaS brand, it doesn't matter if you're a trucking company. You can make a trucking company look like Rolex if you really wanted it to. So making the association, looking within and understanding what are my core beliefs, what are the psychologies of the brand behind why I started this thing. What are you like? You want this to be an extension of you. If you want it to be perceived as a high-end luxury thing, muted colors, warm color palettes, very minimalist aesthetic. If you're more brash and bold and fun and you have more of a personality, go a little bit bolder. You can do that. But all of these visual brand identities, as you're thinking through, does the brand name match the aesthetic? What are people going to see me for? How can I build templates either in Canva or in any of the AI platforms to say like, hey, these are my brand colors, this is my brand Bible, these are my fonts, this is what I'm going for. It's going to make your life so much easier as you're building content, you're building playbooks, building websites, building landing pages, sales and marketing materials, and you're selling your story. The more that this foundation is laid now, not later, will enable you to scale. So if you have an idea, if you have a new marketing concept, a new offer, a new ad, you already have those principles and all of those templates to abide by. So we do a full course and full integration on this inside of the Deeper Layer course. I'd love to work with you on this, and that's what we do when it comes to visual brand identity. So just to recap, step 12, building visual brand identity. Lots of different options here. It should be truly an extension of you, especially if you're a creator or a personal brand. So think the more minimalist, the more luxury that you go is sort of one spot on the spectrum. You can go more brash and bold and fun with more personality. You can meet somewhere in the middle. You can go with a lot of white space, but everything you do, everything you create, and everything your brand touches should be consistent, abiding by those foundational brand identity principles. So I'd highly recommend either working with a designer or just going into Canva, going into ChatGPT, building a Google Sheet, and just saving and building your brand Bible with all the aesthetics so so that you can scale your content up, scale up and down your marketing materials, sales decks, and everything is cohesive, consistent, and customers and prospects understand what your brand's about, even if they've never met you or heard a sales pitch.